Hi everyone, so I'm back in the fish room for this video and I'm going to be talking today about the Parosphromenus linkei project tank that's behind me here. It's changed a bit from when I started out and I just wanted to give it a bit of an update because it's not going to be going on for much longer. So I just wanted to wrap up this project with one final video for you all. So for those of you that haven't seen the previous videos and don't know what this tank was all about, I will add the sort of links to the other videos in the description as always, but just a quick roundup. Effectively, there's a few sort of reports of fish being able to be sustained on just the natural organisms that develop and grow in a botanical method aquarium. And that's what I wanted to test to see it for myself. So this tank was set up back in January, so 10 months ago. I left it for a month, maybe 2 months before I got the fish and added 2 Parosphromenus linkei, a male and a female in theory. I've never added any food source for these fish when they were in, so it's been about 8 months I think since they were added to this tank and they've never been fed, whether that's live food, dried prepared diets, frozen food, nothing. They've just had what is naturally growing and living in this tank. So the reason to do this update today is because I'm going to have to move this tank probably this weekend, maybe next, and therefore I'm going to have to drain out a lot of the water, disturb the environment, disturb the ecosystem and potentially remove a lot of the food sources for the fish. And I don't think it's fair to carry on not feeding them when I'm going to be sort of removing all of that. So that's why I'm doing this as a final update, because as soon as I've moved it, that's it, I'm going to stop and I'm going to actually start feeding these fish. First of all, let's talk about the overall appearance of this tank. So the aquarium is a Superfish 45 Scaper and it's got the light and hang on the back filter that comes in that kit. So they were provided to me by Superfish, by Aquadistry, to help out and help this project sort of run. So I'm really grateful for them and I think it's been an absolutely brilliant piece of kit and I'm not going to be getting rid of this anytime soon. It's definitely going to be staying here and I mean for now it's going to carry on with the layout that's currently in there, but I mean it's just endless possibilities and planted aquascapes or biotope aquariums. So brilliant piece of kit and I'm really grateful for the company for sending it over to me. One thing I will say is this light is super bright. The quality of these the water lettuce here, it's just some of the best that I've managed to grow. I'll grab the camera and I'll show you that and then I'll show you the ferns.
So most of the water lettuce that I try and grow stays quite small leaves. They don't develop that sort of mature height that a real water lettuce get, and like you can see here. And yeah, I mean they've just covered the whole front of this tank where the light is situated, and they are looking fantastic. Really nice mature roots and add a lot of dynamic and interest to the surface. So you can see in places where this nephroc fern is at the front, we've got this browning leaves where they've died, and that was because I moved the light to the water back to take some photos the other day and I forgot to move it back for a day and they just singed the tips of the leaves unfortunately, so it doesn't look quite as pristine as before, but in actual fact it's probably more natural that some of the ferns wouldn't be perfect in the wild and you would have pops of green and brown. And now these dead bits, I'm leaving them and they're just dropping off slowly when I do maintenance, and you'll see caught up in the water lettuce there, the little tips of fern fronds and stuff falling into the water. They'll slowly saturate and drop to the bottom and act as natural leaf drop.
So I mean, I think the ferns, although they're not looking perfect, are looking really good. They're actually sort of sat in moss that's attached to the wood rather than being sat directly into the water. And the moss is growing really nicely. It looks really quite cool in its sort of terrestrial state, I suppose. So yeah, I'll show you that as well. So that's all sort of what's going on above the waterline. At the bottom, obviously we've got our diverse diverse botanical bed, and that is Texas live oak leaves, the cocoa coir, and some twigs. There's also some cacao pods in there, but you can't really see those through the roots now. All of those botanicals came from BlackwaterUK, who really kindly supported this product and actually gave me some advice on what botanicals would be the best fit for this project and to give the reddish tint that I originally had in this tank. It's unfortunately sort of faded over the time. I haven't been quite as good as topping up the botanical layer recently because I knew I was going to move this tank, so yeah, I just wasn't going to add all that tint in and then remove it when I did the move. So hopefully I can get it back to how it was looking when I first set it up in the future. But yeah, thanks to BlackwaterUK again for supplying the botanicals for this tank. I think it's worked out really well and it makes a really nice sort of diverse, natural looking substrate. So now on to the main reason I'm doing this update video, well, the main reason I did this tank really, was the quality of the fish after not being fed for 8 months. And the sad news is, well, although they are still alive and are still looking healthy as such, they definitely haven't put on the weight, haven't grown much, and aren't anywhere near mature yet. I got them as juveniles and they basically haven't really changed in their appearance or size in those 8 months, and that is very unusual. I think it's safe to say that for whatever reason they're not getting the nutrients and the amount of food that they need from this style aquarium on its own. So again, that's another reason why I'm not going to try and preserve all of those organisms when I move this tank and try and keep going for long, because it's probably not going to be fair on the fish. They deserve to have the chance to really mature, to grow and to look their best. Yeah, effectively, although the project has worked, the fish are still alive and have sustained themselves for 8 months. They really haven't grown as much as I would like. And some of the reports I saw, they saw natural sort of breeding occurrences, so they were clearly getting a lot more sustenance from their food to be able to produce the eggs needed to breed, which I don't think these are ever going to be able to do without a significant change in their sort of diet. And I don't think it was a lack of food, because the tank is still absolutely covered in microorganisms. I'll just zoom into one section and show you exactly what I mean. But there are so many different sort of, again, haven't looked at them under a microscope to see exactly what they are, but worms, rotifers, copepods, all sorts of stuff, covering all the surfaces, the glass, the botanicals, the roots, and even sometimes they swim right in front of the licorice gouramis, and they just don't strike, they don't try and eat it. So I don't know whether it's just the wrong type of food rather than not enough food. Maybe I needed to inoculate the tank with some sort of larger organism, some more Daphnia. I occasionally get Daphnia popping up because I have it around, and just, yeah, there was some in there originally. I did seed some of the sort of sludge from some of my other tanks into this tank. Maybe a bit of Daphnia came across, but maybe I should have inoculated it far more than that. Maybe I should have had clouds of Daphnia originally to hopefully give them more of a sort of larger food source, because for whatever reason they're not eating what's currently in there. So I just wanted to say sort of thanks to you guys for watching this video and for following along the journey in this sort of project tank. I really hope it's not the only sort of experimental style aquarium keeping that I sort of share with you all. I've really enjoyed sort of trying something a bit different and challenging myself and challenging sort of, I guess, nature. So yeah, I think there'll be more to come in the future, but for now I need to get the tank moved. So yeah, thanks so much. Like, subscribe if you don't mind, that would really help me out and help the channel grow. So yeah, thanks so much and speak to you all soon.